I am Dark Winter, and in this video I will show you how you can create your own professional sleepy lo-fi track. I'll cover all elements such as the bass, drums, melodies, textures and keys along with some mixing. All sounds used in this video come from our pack called Euphoria. The pack includes serum presets, drums, drum loops, one-shots and a lot of textures and ambience. To check out our pack, click the first link from the description. Don't forget to use code DARKWINTER for 15% off your purchase. Okay, we're in FL Studio, and if you're using any other DAW, you can just follow along on how I made this track. And I hope you can learn something from this. Up first, I chose the BPM of 50 because I feel that these artists use that BPM quite often, and I thought I'll make a track around that. This song is in the key of F sharp minor. I believe that minor scale is perfect for such a genre. It gives a dark and sad mood. Then I used a Woodchester piano from Contact to create a melody that sounds something like this. As for processing, I didn't do much. I just added a limiter. This is in the comp mode for sidechaining and a basic EQ to cut out the lows and some of the highs. Then I went and created some drums using our sample pack with this pattern. It's a pretty simple pattern. It's just a kick on every bar and a hat on every quarter bar. And the snare comes on the twos and the fours. The processing, I think I haven't done much to be honest, except on the snare, I just added some reverb. It's sent to a mixer bus to a convolution reverb. That's the only thing I've done for mixing. After that, I added some foley loops from our pack. These foley loops fill the drums to give it that texture and quality, as well as it fills the frequencies of the drum track so that it gives that fullness. So together with other drums, this is what it sounds like. After the drums, I added some pads. Of course, is this one. This part just follows the chord progression of the piano, and I think I've used the plugin Decent Sampler. This is from the bank called Basic Backdrop. I use it in almost every track of mine. It's an amazing bank, and I think you should all get it. Then to build the ambience and the vibe of the song even more, I've added some ambience from our pack. This is the crickets and frogs, which sounds something like this. As for processing, I've just like cut the highs a bit. Since most of these artists use a lot of guitar in the tracks and I cannot play the guitar, I sent this track over to my friend Alcinous. He added a lot of guitars to the track, but first I want to show you the demo that I sent him. And before sending the demo, I just added a few things that I forgot to tell you. I use a sidechain kick trigger. It's just like a normal kick that follows the kick pattern. And I routed this kick to the piano over here. And using a compressor, I sidechain the kick to the piano so that it gives that tucking effect like this. This is done so that I can have a bit more space for the kick and the bass to come. And the other thing that I did was I used a H delay from Waves to add some delay to the track, which sounds something like this. It's a basic 1/4 delay, and I've kept the analog off and switched off the lo-fi. And I also EQ'd the delay. I removed the lows so that the rumble from the low end does not affect the track. My friend Alcinous added some beautiful guitar on it. So we're going to check that out. Now I will show you the track with the guitars on, and then we'll go and break down each and individual guitar track and see what I've done to it. First, we're going to talk about the guitar slides. Typically use a lap steel guitar, but since I didn't have any access to it, we just used a guitar slide that's drenched in reverb. As for processing, I just use some soothe on it to remove the harsh frequencies. The next thing that comes after it is the melody, which sounds something like this. As for processing, I have used a plugin called Cabin by Analog Obsession, my go-to guitar plugin for toning down the guitar a bit. If I remove the plugin, this is what the guitar sounds like. And now if I use the plugin, the difference is insane. The next part that he added were these guitars that were panned to the left and the right, which sounds something like this. I think the left one is playing an octave down and the right one is playing an octave up, but the melody is completely different. It's just a slight variation, which gives the track this euphoric feeling. For processing, it's like some basic EQ to remove the low end and some soothe on it, just to remove this part. Then for the guitar right, yeah, it's the same thing, nothing much. To complement this guitar, I had asked Alcinous to add a melody later. So this is what the complementary guitar sounds like. So basically, this acts like a call and response thing where the left and right band guitars are first calling, and this melody guitar right over here is responding to it. So this is how it sounds. It's an amazing technique that you can use in your song. And as for processing, it's just a basic cabin. That's it. The other thing that Alcinous add were these guitar sparkles. They come only on the second bar drop. This is like an extension to the guitar calls and response. Let me just show you how it sounds like. Together with everything, this is what the guitar part sounds like. The next thing that I added to the track was the bass. It was like a live bass that I've used, which sounds something like this. And as for processing, I added a Saturn 2 where I lowered the lows and boosted the mids and highs a bit by 12 dB. Then I sidechained it to the kick and finally add like a volume balance to just reduce the volume a bit. Then at the end, I added the track spacer so that when the piano plays, the bass reduces a bit. If I hadn't used track spacer, the frequencies would have clashed and it would have caused a lot of rumble and mud. The next thing that I added to the track were these guitar strings in the break. I used the library called Emotional Cello. I used various articulation to write the melody. For processing, there's nothing. The other thing that I added was piano solo in the break. So this is what the break sounds like. Then the final thing that I added were these sweeps and transition effects. These are also from the pack called Euphoria. Go and check it out. Yeah, I just spread it throughout the track just to like give that smoothness between each section of the song. Then there's a trick I want to show you. So what I did here was I removed the snare and the hats from playing. Now I'll show you if I had kept them in how it would sound like. But if I just trim this out and let it end with a kick, it gives a much more bigger impact. It's just like a smooth transition trick that I learned. Up next, we have the ending part where we repeated the same piano solo at the end. So what it sounds like. I tried adding the cello in the end, but it just didn't fit it. The final thing that I added to the track were the shakers. And to be honest, I have processed these shakers a lot. This is what the original sounds like. But since the theme of the track is dark, moody, and subtle, I had to like really process the hell out of it. Together with the drum, this is what it sounds like now. As for the final touches, I've added a few automation stuff. For example, over here in the piano, I've added a piano volume automation. So when the guitar plays over here, I've reduced the volume of the piano playing by I think a dB or two. I bring back the same volume back in the break and again reduce it in the second half of the track. And yeah, this is the final track. I would love you to hear how it sounds and let me know if I should drop it as a full song. Don't forget to check out our packs and use code DARKWINDOW for 15% off at checkout.